All right. Wait. So yeah, as I mentioned before, I won't be doing like a smart nation or smart city kind of breakthrough. I'll only be explaining my findings on the concept for open data, because from seeing Brunei's implementation of open data, I feel like, oh my god, I think we can do way better than this, because their search the search functionality is broken, but I mean, like, open data, and there's no visualization at all. So here, what I want to emphasize for the open data is there is like the source. It's from wiki, so it's like open source data, because like it should be open to everyone. So no restrictions from copyright patents or mechanism of control, even from the government. And the second point is actually from what I think is best for open data implementation, that it should be easy to access and analyze, just like when you search on Google or Bing or Yahoo search. So I think with this implementation, we can make a new revolutionize the way that we search for data. So here's like my my ground up an example that I kind of like. The Singapore at a glance data is like from the get-go you can see the data visualization. And it is also mentioned in the previous presentation from Rifki that he likes the data visualization from the Singapore open data, and I also like that. But there are more things that we can add to this, and also I think they supported developers by adding like a GitHub page, so developers can like use their APIs for like third-party applications and make some cool stuff with it. And yeah, so here's what I think is important, is that us as a programmer, we need raw data, and scholars or researchers, they need well-written reports, and market analysts, they need as many raw but readable data as possible to like decide where they should be going to, which stock should they buy and stuff. So and also what we need is like an easy, fast, relevant search result, a web-based visualization, like from the previous slide, the Singapore open data, and similar data recommendation, just like when you're on YouTube or TikTok, you get like recommendations based on their algorithms. And last but not least, it should always be able to be seen or accessed, so they won't get removed. So I came up with this idea. The three of them are data leveling, smart tagging, and data blockchain. So maybe the last one, you're kind of like, yeah, there will be pros and cons for the data blockchain, but I guess we should just go on. So for data leveling, I think this is very simple, but I think it might change how we think about data. So we can separate this from L0 to L3, L0 being raw sensors, like IP cameras, and this will be explained in the next slide. So there will be L0, L1, L2, L3 raw sensors, like it's computer readable, non-human readable. L1, the purest form of raw human readable, and L2, official reports. Maybe like if you go to Indonesian open data on their CSV files or PDF files, yeah, those are like the official reports. And L3, now this, I think it will be very similar to what the press or medias are doing right now. So there are like computer-driven articles based on like very trustable data. But I think it's better if we implement this from the data portal. So yeah, L1, L0, there will be like IP cams, where to sensors, seismographs, and so on. And L1, XML files. It has been explained. XML files is very, very good for open data. You can make good graphs out of it. It It includes like financial reports, the purest form of financial reports, and computer-generated data. Maybe like from the IP cams, we can like count how many vehicles pass certain intersections, or maybe in some pedestrian, we can like see how many people are wearing masks and who doesn't. And there's like L2, PDF, Excel. It needs to be well written, well explained. So like COVID cases report from the government, export import. And L3, I mean, you can use any, even media files, MP4. I think they should include press organization, especially like non-funded organization, maybe like for against animal cruelty. Maybe there will be like an organization that wants to propose a data about that and stuff. And also for the smart tagging, so yeah, this will be like some kind of like YouTube, TikTok algorithm kind of stuff, because like recommending which data that the user might like. So here maybe have sex ratio in Indonesia, male female, and of course the user would get a recommendation for sex ratio on another part of region, maybe Jakarta, Bandung. And also I think sex ratio is kind of like closely related to IMR, the infant mortality rate. So maybe the user might be into that too for his or her report. And also life expectancy, maybe, but yeah. So, but there are also like some big. So for the happiness index here, why I put it there, because like it has a similar what do you call it? Similar data. So like the percentage of happy people is pretty similar to the female ratio from the sex ratio of Indonesia. So that's what I want to emphasize here. And the sex ratio of Semarang is pretty similar to the sex ratio of the whole country. And also maybe like there will be like sexual harassment cases, because like it's been like a trending topic recently after sex ratio and also abortion rate maybe. And the data blockchain, now this, I mean, like it's immutable, so it cannot be deleted, it cannot be altered, you cannot edit. If there's an error in the data, you cannot fix it. Maybe you can add another data with a revision tag to it, but like, yeah, you cannot what's done is done. There's no turning back. And also this could potentially revolutionize the citation method, because like with data blockchain, what I want is like there will be like a blockchain ID on each data. So instead of like in the citation page, daftar pustaka, usually we put like the pages and so on, and the pages, the author, the title and so on. We can just put the ID, or maybe soon we get to e-journals, we can like make it like a hyperlink. So there will be you put blockchain ID, then it will show up the title, the authors and stuff, and which page is mentioned from the journals, and then it is easier to share, because you're just sharing the ID. There's no it's even shorter than the link. So there will be like pros and cons for data blockchain. Again, it's immutable. You cannot delete viral data. It will keep growing and growing and growing into a very big chunk of data, even until maybe petabytes or soon exabytes of data. So certain data might be misleading. Again, you cannot delete viral data, so you gotta have another data, a revision of the misleading data. And also 51% attack now. This, I don't think this has been like been studied thoroughly, but this could potentially be fatal for open data, because like just imagine all the possibilities of providing false information on the open data platform. And also it requires mining Maybe the government could add like a dedicated miner with a fixated hash rate to the data blockchain. But we'll see how your guys, maybe you have like a suggestion or anything, or maybe like comments on this data blockchain, because I think this will be fun to have a debate on. And also for the what do you call the cloud system. So like container, Docker, Kubernetes has been like the new things in the cloud computing era. So I call them neo VPS because like they're new, they're easy to use. They're not cheap in a way, because like if you like consider going for the long run, I think VM would be better. But I think soon there will be more companies that run VPS servers, so there will be like competitions between them, and I think it's better to just use container instances. So like it's easier for you to migrate from one provider to another. And also I've done some calculations. So this is from Azure. So comparing from the container, so the container, it has like Linux OS on it, right? But container doesn't have an OS. It runs entirely on its own kind of like, I don't know. It doesn't have an OS. So there's like the maintenance will be like very, very easy. And comparing to the D2V3, it's like a very basic server, you get like a fifth, $21 difference. But I think considering the very easy maintenance and no upfront costs, I think this will be like a very very compelling option to choose container instance. Maybe we can have a debate on this later on too. And also for the supporting factor, for my idea here is that more firms are striving for data transparency, maybe the Audit Board of Indonesia, and maybe the KPK, the Corruption Watch, and more scholars are relying on the web for reliable data and info. I mean, let's be honest, we use Google for our papers, and maybe like Wikipedia to get like the citation, the source information. Using this very easy leveled with L0 to L3 kind of implementation, it would be like way better for us to easily get data. And I mean, like it's open data. There will be like metadata on where the data is coming from, so it's like it will be very easy for us to do like reports and stuff. And the opposing factor here is like so like there is like L2 and L3 in my previous slide, the official reports and committee-driven reports. So I don't really know whether this is like a bad thing or a good thing, but official reports are usually boring in a way. So committee-driven reports tend to be like engaging, or maybe not really well explained, but they are very to the point. But if committee-driven reports are winning, the government cannot control them. There is no supervision capable of for committee-driven reports. So I guess maybe the committee will decide on their own whether this person's reports is viable, is valid or not. And also there's data blockchain. Yeah, pros and cons of data blockchain. It's immutable. It requires mining. In the SDG, I don't know. It increases pollution. So yeah, there will be like pros and cons of this. Yeah, I guess that's about my findings for now. And also for the SDG, I think it satisfies the point, and the ninth point, the education and the the development. I forgot which one is it. It's, oh no, it's the fourth, the quality education, and the ninth, industry innovation and infrastructure. So yeah, that's about my finding. Is there any question, comments? Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Atri. That's cool thing, I think, that you headlight about several component on the open data, and then you goes to the blockchain and technology surrounding of the smart nation. I think that's cool. That show the how the perspective on the computer science or technology side to support the smart nations. Yeah, but once again, I think it's also, I agree with you. You can use this as your use case also for the midsem, and you need to, you know, to smooth to and then to explain more about how the technology will support the application, and also the use of technology to support some specific function on the smart city or smart nation. Yeah. So you can state like, I think, yeah, I agree with you. One of the critical point is about the open data. Yeah. So we can imagine that one, if we doesn't have that one, we cannot establish anything actually for the analytics, like the example of Atri and then the example before it. So that would be the important point. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I think you can proceed with this idea, Rifki. Sorry, Atri. Sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay.